me to moderate this session as part of an international conference on global finance, technology, and sustainable development for emerging markets organized by Lingaya's Vidyapeeth School of Commerce and Management in collaboration with the Jammu and Kashmir Economic Council and SS International. I deeply appreciate the organizing team for organizing this conference of repute. Friends, today we'll focus on an important theme for this session: bridging the digital divide, advancing financial inclusion, and sustainable development in emerging economies. Dear friends, today we stand at a critical juncture in our efforts to bridge the digital divide in emerging economies. By prioritizing access to digital technologies, we can unlock unprecedented opportunities for financial inclusion, enabling underserved communities to tap into essential services that foster economic stability. This is not just about technology, it is about creating pathways for sustainable development where innovation meets social equity. I would like to take this opportunity to introduce our esteemed panel members who will share their valuable insights today. This discussion is very crucial as we seek to understand how technology can help close the gaps in access to financial services and drive sustainable growth in emerging markets. First eminent panel member, we have Professor Isil Demirtas. Professor Isil Demirtas is an associate professor in the Department of Economics at Giresun University. She earned her PhD in economic policy from Marmara University in 2015. Additionally, she received a scholarship from Tobitak and worked as a visiting scholar at the University of Michigan from 2016 to 2017. Her research interests include energy economics, economic policy, green economy, and sustainable development. Thanks, and we welcome you, Professor Isil Demirtas. Next,
Thank
next eminent panel member, we have Professor Volha Rudlouskaya. Professor Volha is PhD in economics. She currently holds the position of associate professor and serves as the head of the department at Belarus State Economic University, Belarus. Adjunct professor at Lovely Professional University with an impressive 17-year tenure as a seasoned professor. Her academic focus revolves around finance, financial management, and strategic development. She has established herself as a leading expert in the fields of international financial reporting standards and financial management. Her dedication to academia is evident through her extensive contribution to research, having authored and published over 50 papers. And in addition to her teaching and research roles, she assumes the role of the annual chair for the finance and accounting session at the International Economic Business Congress and Conferences, showcasing her leadership and commitment to advancing knowledge in the realm of economics and finance. Thank you for your gracious presence, and we welcome you, Professor Volha.
Thank you, Professor Shahid. Greetings, dear colleagues.
Welcome. Next, eminent panel member, we have Professor Muthmainnah. Professor Muthmainnah is a senior lecturer at Universitas Al Asyara Mandar in West Sulawesi, Indonesia. She has extensive experience as a lecturer, global speaker, and international leader. Professor has held numerous positions at her university, including chairman of the Indonesian Language Department, public relations officer, director of Women's Center Studies, deputy director of Quality Assurance Unit, and currently deputy director of the Language and Character Development Institute. Professor is also an accomplished author, having written 81 national and international books published by esteemed publishers like IJ Global, Springer, Emerald, Wiley, and many more. Professor Muthmainnah has won over 100 plus international awards, including Outstanding Professor, Outstanding Leadership, Best International Influencer, Best Emerging Professor of the Year, and she has many more great achievements to her credit. Uh, Thanks for your gracious presence, Professor Muthmainnah.
My pleasure, Professor. Thank you so much.
Welcome. So, next eminent panel member, we have Professor Viana Hassan. Professor Viana Hassan is adjunct professor at American University of Malta, visiting lecturer at University of Malta, business academic leader at HTC, higher education partner of Wolverhampton University, UK, adjunct professor at GBS Malta, partner of Sparbach University, UK, research student supervisor at ITS, external evaluator at Malta, further higher education and external examiner at MSU University, Malaysia. Professor Viana Hassan is actively involved in academic and research work in tourism and cultural management in Lebanon and Malta. She is the founder and CEO of European Tourism and Events Training Academy. She has more than 19 years of tourism experience in many related travel and tourism fields, varying from airline sales experience to co-management several Lebanese travel agencies. She is an experienced lecturer with more than 16 years experience at several reputed universities. Dr. Viana has participated in international conferences like Expo Dubai 2020, 7th Medical Tourism World Summit, including Athens, Paris, Vienna, Dubai, Beirut, and many other countries. And she has published in many peer-reviewed journals. We welcome you, Professor Viana Hassan.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
So next, a respected panel member, we have Dr. Anna. Dr. Anna is assistant professor in Katowice Business University, Department of Tourism, also secretary of the tourism department. She graduated at the Faculty of Management in Economic University in Krakow. She obtained her PhD, cooperate with Polish Chamber of Tourism, Silesian Tourism Organization, and Silesian Chamber of Tourism, member of Silesian Marketing Society. She is European Climate Pact Ambassador. She is a member of the expert panel on science in sustainable development. Her research interests are connected with sustainable management, sustainable tourism, and tourism management and marketing. Thanks for your presence, and we welcome you, Dr. Anna.
Thank you very much. I welcome you very warmly.
Dear friends, it is by exploring innovative strategies and collaborative efforts, we aim to identify actionable solutions that can empower communities and foster economic resilience. We are going to start the first round of the panel discussion and request our panel members to consider the time limit, as it is an online session, and please be brief while answering these questions. So first, so Dr. Firdous, shall we go ahead with the round one? And I'm sure I will get the consent from all the eminent panel members.
Yes, please go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. So we have digital technologies. So we want to listen from Professor Isil how digital technologies effectively can bridge the financial inclusion gap in emerging economies. Professor Isil, please share your inputs.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, esteemed colleagues and distinguished guests. It's a great pleasure to be here today to discuss a topic that is crucial for our countries. Digital technologies have the potential to bridge the financial inclusion gap in emerging economies by providing accessible and affordable financial services. And financial inclusion ensures that individuals and businesses have access to essential financial services like payments, savings, credits, and insurance. However, many people in emerging economies remain excluded due to the geographical, infrastructural, and socio-economic barriers. Mobile banking platforms and fintech innovations such as blockchain and alternative credit scoring help reach unbanked populations, providing key services like savings, microloans, and cross-border remittance. These technologies reduce costs and make financial services accessible, but they require a robust infrastructure, regulation, and financial literacy support for sustainable growth. And also digital wallets and agent banking networks play a vital role in remote areas where physical banks are scarce. Digital identification systems also simplify access to financial services by providing secure identities, and financial literacy programs delivered through mobile platforms help users make informed financial decisions, and public-private partnerships are also crucial for scaling successful models. Thank you very much. Oh, we can't hear you, Professor.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for your insights.
Okay, thank you very much.
So, as you mentioned about partnerships, so we'll go to Dr. Anna. Dr. Anna, can you please brief us about how the partnerships between governments, private sectors, and non-profits can enhance this digital financial inclusion?
Thank you once more again. Thank you for the invitation and being here. I'm delighted that I'm with you, all of you. And yes, how the partnership can look like in our words. It's the basically thing is that we have different problems in different countries. So we don't have one huge big system that allowed us to have a good cooperation and financial department. So first of all, we have to decide what is the most important to get an access and how it should be working. So, for example, in Poland, we have such a situation that the cooperation between the public sector and the private one mostly doesn't exist in Poland. So first, we don't have the law regulation, which allowed to produce such financial gaps and financial some kind of connection, and then we can start go abroad. That it's still, how I said before, it doesn't exist. So the first thing, when we try to connect them, we should find this connection in law, and then and after that in digital financial solutions. So that is very difficult situation, I think, because we don't have the right key how to do that. So for me, no.
Okay.
I think it, yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Anna. So we'll go to Professor Volha now. Professor Volha, can you share some insights with the participants? In what ways Can governments of the emerging economies, they can support the digitalization of financial services to foster this economic growth?
Thank you, Dr. Shahid. Thank you. Well, the topic is really relevant, and I would like to pay your attention, dear colleagues, to several strategies that can help us and can support the digitalization of financial services. And doing that, they will be able to foster economic growth. This is the main task, as we know, right? So first of all, what is really necessary to do is to work on regulatory frameworks. As Anna mentioned, Professor Anna mentioned, and we all know that in every single country, there is a very necessary task to establish clear, stable, adaptable regulatory frameworks that encourage innovation at all the stages in production, in sales, be it in digital world or in a physical production, while ensuring consumer protection and financial stability. That kind of regulations are very crucial nowadays. Besides that, what we can do, what our governments can do, is to invest in essential digital infrastructure. Why am I paying attention to that? Because it includes high-speed internet, mobile connectivity, particularly in rural and underserved areas. These particular problem or issue is relevant for a lot of areas and a lot of regions nowadays. So this facilitates access to digital financial services for a larger population in all the regions. And we have that problem, we have to admit it. Besides that, what is necessary to highlight is we need to work on promotion financial literacy campaigns to educate citizens on the benefits and use of digital financial services. We cannot do anything besides that, because awareness of digital tools can enhance their adaptation and usage among the population. Let's take a look at the way our grandmas, grandpas work in this direction. They are afraid of that. New technologies actually make them scared a little bit, right? So we have to help them. We have to educate them to make them involved in those practices as well. Then, of course, I cannot deny the fact that we have to work on support for fintech innovation from our governments, create incubators, create accelerators for fintech startups, providing them with different types of resources needed, with mentoring and financial support, with potential funding as well, accessible financial, available financial funding. This can help local companies innovate and create solutions in this particular area. And this is a task for government, right? As you mentioned, the partnerships, I would like to pay attention to the public-private partnership in this particular way as well, because it can help to foster collaboration between the public sector and private campaigns to develop and scale digital financial services. Partnerships can leverage government resources, we can use them, and insights with the agility on innovation of the private sector. It can boost this particular direction of our economy. What else? A very crucial point to mention is data protection and cybersecurity. They should be promoted, because implementation of strong data, I would say protection, yeah, it's the best word, security probably, laws, cybersecurity measures, they will help us to build trust in digital financial services. And it's the task for governments to provide that kind of trust. We have to ensure the safety of personal and financial data, and it is really crucial for user confidence. Different types of incentives and subsidies from government should be provided in this area. So to develop mechanisms and to facilitate access to credit for both consumers and small businesses through digital platforms. Like to create that kind of network that will include creating credit scoring systems based on alternative data and all the varieties that we can find here. Of course, it takes a lot of financial resources and a lot of human resources, so only governments can do that and promote that kind of direction. As well as inclusivity, we cannot deny the fact that it is very important here. So we need to encourage the development of services catered and for unrepresented, I would say underserved population, first of all, with different types of examples. Like, let's take a look at mobile money, let's take a look at social payments, online lending platforms. Only governments can help us to create that. So this is their task. I truly believe in this. Different types of collaborations we can mention here, and research and development as well. This takes a lot of funding, and the government should provide that. Investments in research that focuses on understanding user needs, market gaps, emerging technologies in the financial services sector. This information requires a lot of efforts to be taken, to be gained, to be collaborated, and this can guide effectively policy-making process. I think that is it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh, so we also need to understand some of the successful models. So in this regard, we'll come to Professor Muthmainnah.
Yes.
Professor Muthmainnah, can you share some insights regarding what are some successful models of financial inclusion using digital platforms from emerging markets that can be replicated at a global level?
Yeah, thank you for the question. I think that about the successful model of financial inclusion using digital platform from emerging market. We should be understanding about the emerging market have introduced several innovative digital platform, and this is to support financial inclusion. And maybe some of the successful model, just I having some investigation based on the studies. For example, in Kenya introduced the platform model, namely M-Pesa, and this is allowing to user to transfer money, pay bills, and save through mobile phone without needing a bank account. And the impact of this model, this is expanded the financial access to 1 million who were actually previously unbanking, and especially in rural area. And I think by this platform, it will be helping this country to reduce poverty and then personal financial management. And the global potential for this this model, example, it will be adapt globally region with a high mobile penetration, but low banking infrastructure. This is will be the problem. So they needed the partnership between the bank itself and the mobile operator. The second, in India, for example, the models like by using Paytm, and this is also supporting namely digital wallet. Paytm also this is like financial service. I don't know, maybe our friend here in India know about this model. And then this is also a support financial service, and then growing mobile with limited financial service. The next maybe in Philippines and Mexico or Kenya, using namely Tala. This is same also. This is a mobile data to access about to providing a user without a credit history. And in Indonesia, in my country, we have namely Dana. This is the model in Indonesia. Dana, this is also the digital wallet for financial inclusion. And this is used in Indonesia because, you know, more population in Indonesia. And then we are connected now with by mobile and internet. And then this is, I think this is the flexible platform for financial system. And I don't know, I hope this is right in Pakistan, because I just having some paper to identify also this kind of the model. In Pakistan, I use AC Paisa. This is mobile banking platform. And also this is the model used in Pakistan. And yeah, the function, this is like a mobile wallet and microfinance providing. In Bangladesh, maybe use the model like bKash. This is also mobile financial service and financial inclusion. And I think that like in Indonesia, Pakistan, and Bangladesh, digital platform that I have mentioned before have shown significant success in increasing financial inclusion, and then also financial literacy in my country, for example. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you, Professor, for sharing your insights on models. As you rightly mentioned, I mean, about this mobile banking as well. So we'll go to Professor Viana Hassan. Professor, can you share some insights? How do mobile banking and fintech innovations they contribute to the economic resilience in the those emerging markets?
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for the lovely invitation. So, of course, sorry, because it's still early morning, 7 a.m. and Sunday. So, mobile banking, as we know, mobile banking and fintech innovation enhance economy for sure. Because let's say, like nowadays, it's going to help the people more. Because nowadays we notice that the majority of the people, they are using the mobile banking because it's become much easier for them. Let's say, for example, now in Europe, they are using more Revolut than it's a Revolut card where you can transfer the money from a phone to another phone, or for example, from mobile app to any bank account worldwide. And even when you want, for example, to transfer the money, so like that, the exchange rate, they don't take like the normal banking. So we found nowadays, let's say, for example, the case study of Malta, we found the majority of the people now, they avoid using the normal bank to transfer the money, and they use Revolut because it's become much easier for them. As well, nowadays they are going as well to have access more to the loan, which make it easy. And even when it's come to the normal banking, nowadays they use the mobile banking where you can check about the amount of the loan that you can take based on your salary. So you don't need anymore, for example, to go to the bank, to take any appointment, etc. Plus, it's going to help more the small businesses. Let's say, for example, if I want to discuss about Nigeria, sometimes they face, for example, some problem in their banking system. So they start develop what we call it digital finance. They start having, for example, some platforms such as PlayStack and Paka, which they start using in order to help their own business. And even during COVID-19, we found the majority of the people, they start using the mobile banking and the fintech because it will help them more access to check their account, to support the economic activity. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for sharing insights. Now we'll move ahead with the round 2, and there are challenges. So we all know the greater the achievement, and the greater will be the challenges. And sustainable development is not an exception. So in this regard, we would request Professor Isil to talk about some of the challenges that emerging markets face in achieving this sustainable development through financial inclusion. Yeah, Professor Isil.
Thank you. Emerging markets faces several challenges in achieving sustainable development through financial inclusion. One of the primary barriers is infrastructural deficiencies, including unreliable digital infrastructure and a lack of access to basic services like electricity, especially in rural areas. And regulatory challenges also play a role with underdeveloped or fragmented frameworks hindering the scalability of fintech solutions. And also financial literacy is another issue, as many people in emerging markets lack the knowledge to effectively use the digital financial services, which can result in underutilization or vulnerability to fraud. Furthermore, there are trust and security concerns where historical mistrust of financial institutions and worries about cybersecurity and data privacy hinder adoption. To overcome these challenges, coordinated efforts across governments, the private sector, and civil society, along with strong infrastructure investments, regulatory reforms, and financial literacy programs are essential. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. We all know that private sector is always there to take the initiatives, and we see huge innovation on part of the private sector. In this regard, I will come to Professor Volha. Professor, can you share some insights with us how this private sector innovations they play? How private sector they contribute to the innovations in enhancing financial inclusion.
Thank you, Professor Shahid. Yes, our private sector plays a vital role, I would say, and we really have that hope that they're going to increase their effort, they are going to put even more in promotion. Why? Let me highlight some of the key points here. First of all, the private sector often develops low-cost financial products due to several reasons, tailored to the needs of underserved population. For example, we can consider microloans here. We can consider peer-to-peer lending platforms and simplified savings account. They are designed to be affordable and accessible. Why am I talking about that regarding the private sector? Because those particular tiny financial services, like not just huge scale on the governmental level, they are affordable for the private sector according to the effort, according to the financial resources that they have. So this is can be increased in our nowadays practice. Besides that, companies are leveraging big data and artificial intelligence to assess creditworthiness in non-traditional ways. So what does our private sector do in majority of countries? By analyzing alternative data sources, for example, payment history or utility bills or mobile phones usage, fintech firms can offer credit to individuals and small businesses that lack formal credit histories. It makes the entire process easier, and it takes less time to provide that kind of financial service. Also, private sector companies frequently collaborate with non-governmental organizations. They do, and different types of governmental agencies, international development organizations to expand their reach. This kind of partnerships can help in the distribution of financial services remotely, first of all, and to the underserved communities as well. So as I mentioned before, consumer education, financial literacy is very crucial here. I don't want to repeat about that one more time, and for private sector is absolutely relevant as well. The next point, which is really necessary to mention, is what about competition? Why not to encourage competition in this area? The entry of new players into the financial services market, particularly fintech startups, they will foster competition, which can result in better services, first of all, in lower costs, the second, and more innovative products tailored for the underserved market. As we know, private sector is about, in majority of cases, young, very ambitious and very energetic people, though they can contribute to this area a lot. Many private sector innovations are tailored to local contexts, like local regional contexts, addressing specific cultural, economic, social barriers that hinder financial inclusion. Understanding local needs can lead to more effective solutions, such as an example, community-based savings groups or informal credit systems, which are integrated into local practices. I think that we have future here in this particular direction. I would like to mention the regulation point. Innovation in regulatory technology can help smaller financial institutions navigate compliance with regulations more efficiently, more effectively. And that's why they are going to enable them to serve low-income clients more effectively. So it's about the reduction in costs, definitely. And by facilitating access to financial services, private sector innovations can drive economic empowerment. I do believe in this. Access to credit can enable entrepreneurship, local entrepreneurship, first of all, enabling individuals to start their businesses, to create these startups, not to be afraid of that, which in turn can lead to job creation, additional job creation, and increased economic activity in underserved areas. So I think the private sector is one of the driving forces, leading driving forces in this particular economic development. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. I fully appreciate and agree that private sector has a role to play. And as you mentioned, there is so much of enthusiasm and kind of energy in the private sector. Now, next, we'll also touch some important topic, uh, gender equality. So we'll come to Professor Muthmainnah. Professor Muthmainnah, can you tell us how does the digital divide impact gender equality in financial inclusion in developing countries?
Yes. Yeah, there are three the main point about impact of digital device on gender equality in financial inclusion, like in Indonesia or another developing country. The first one about the internet access or limited mobile access. Yeah, some of women in these developing countries actually already having low access to the internet connection, or based on the data, 8%, only 8% of the women in this developing country having their own mobile phone. And I think that by this situation, it will be make them having gap to restrict the ability to access the digital financial service because of the device. They don't have device. And then about the mobile connectivity, internet connection in the rural area. And the second one about the low digital literacy. Yeah, we find that there are some of women actually already they are have low digital literacy and digital financial literacy, and this is also making the big challenge to understand and how to use the digital financial product. And the impact on financial inclusion itself, this is will be a limit opportunity for the women to participate in entrepreneurship, or maybe to improve their economic well-being. And the example also like in India, digital initiative like Jan Dhahan Yojana, this is provided women with bank account. And yeah, like in Indonesia, also in my country, that we find some of the program from our ministry, like improving their financial literacy for student and educator. And this is involve the school, and we insert in the curriculum about the financial literacy, or maybe this is we call numeral literacy, and digital learning platform, and also this is support the student, especially in the rural area, to support the financial skill, but we must be having collaboration together from our Ministry of Communication and Ministry of Education for supporting the digital financial literacy. In the Pakistan, maybe we have the program, namely School and College Financial Literacy Program. And I see that this is initiative by the State Bank in Pakistan. And this is to building financial awareness among high school and students, and also to support women for digital financial literacy. And also in Bangladesh, maybe they have financial literacy through BCAS that I mentioned before. And this is also hands on the school curriculum. And just only the big challenge about the access, internet access, and the mobile device or smartphone. This device, some of the women actually already they don't have their own mobile phone. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for your insights. Thank you.
Yeah.
Professor Volha talked about the regulation, but in the process there are challenges, regulatory challenges. So in this regard, we'll request Professor Viana Hassan, please share some inputs regarding the regulatory challenges that are faced by the emerging economies in promoting this digital financial services.
Okay. So when it comes to the challenges related to the mobile, when it's come to the challenges that in promoting the digital financial service, we have plenty of challenges. So the main challenge, it will be about how we can balancing the innovation and protection, because nowadays we found that they need to put some safeguarding against the fraud and ensuring at the same time that consumers, they are protected without stifling the innovation. So it will be the one of the main challenges. That means it's more about to put some safeguarding when it's come to the against the frauds and how to protect our customer. The second challenge is going to be more about how we can limit the regulatory capacity. So that means sometimes we need to offer regulator some lack of resources to keep us with rapidly evolving in fintech technology. Beside to these two challenges, I think nowadays we have plenty of market competition. So the market competition is very important to ensure that the platform can work together and smoothly at lower cost and boost access. Because through the competition that we have it nowadays, we found that we have plenty of platform, and this platform can work together smoothly to lower the cost. Beside to that as well, we have the cross-border transaction. That means I need to make sure to managing the foreign exchange rule and currency stability while facilitating digital trades, because sometimes when I need to do the transaction, I need to make sure that I will be able to manage the foreign exchange. Besides that, the less challenges, in my opinion, it will be more about taxation and compliance costs. So that means I need to make sure to create a fair digital tax and managing compliance cost, which is not going to burden the small fintech firm. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Vaina, for giving us understanding regarding some of the challenges. We all know innovations like there is AI, blockchain, they have become a buzzwords, and we'll be interested to understand how the use of the AI and blockchain in financial services, they contribute to closing the digital divide in emerging markets. So we'll request Dr. Anna to please share some insights.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. So both of the tools, I think nowadays are more and more, we use them more than we used to do that, I think, even 2 years ago. And even I think that we use it too much. And what is the funny fact sometimes when the such a tools asking us to be a human, to be checking how we can understand the process of information, also this financial one. So the first one, of course, is more accessible, affordable. So we have more access to different kind of tools in AI and also in blockchain. So both of them are, I think, still will be more going to an exciting financial exclusion. So the first one will be more like products, all driven financial products. So we can find more easily some products which will be more available for people. What the before doctor said, Vienna and others, we still need some tools to understand the process of AI and blockchain, because of course we use them, but how we can do that properly and understable. Also in the private life, like exchanging the money, making some transfer, but the most important, also to with my first question, with a partnership with the public sector, with the private one, how those tools like AI and blockchain can work together to be more comfortable for the companies. So still, of course, we have some tools, but still we have to create low regulation that the system allowed us to go very clearly and without any changes with the transfer, with the information, with some mistakes, which can of course happen. You can put just one more zero and it makes more sense than all big, huge mistake. Yeah, so how it will be with all the process and how allowed us to be more successful in the world. So basically, I think we have to find the right tools also in AI, which is still learning how to, and we are still learning how it helps us in the whole system, but also in blockchain. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Anna, for your good inputs on AI and blockchain. Thank you. If you permit me, we'll move ahead with the round 3 then. Fine. So we all presume that financial literacy is important, but then would like to seek more clarity on this financial literacy aspect. I request Professor Isil to talk about how does financial literacy play a role in the adoption of digital financial services.
Financial literacy plays a crucial role in the adoption of digital financial services, particularly in unbanked regions where access to traditional financial system is limited. In these areas, even when digital platforms are introduced, their effectiveness often depends on the user's ability to understand the services being offered. Additionally, it also relies on their trust in these services. Financial literacy therefore serves as the foundation that enables individuals to make informed decisions about managing their finance. It also helps them choose appropriate services and avoid potential risks. One of the primary challenges in unbanked regions is the lack of familiarity with formal financial systems. Many individuals in these regions rely on informal methods of saving and transacting, which makes the transition to digital services potentially intimidating. Without adequate financial literacy, users may struggle to navigate digital platforms, leading to underutilization or misuse of services such as mobile banking, digital wallets, and peer-to-peer lending platforms. Does the success of digital financial services hinge on parallel efforts to improve financial literacy? Governments, financial institutions, and development organizations must invest in targeted educational programs to ensure that users not only have access to digital financial tools, but also the knowledge to use them effectively. Without these elements, the potential of digital financial inclusion to drive sustainable development will remain limited. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. Another important aspect is the risk of cybersecurity and data privacy. I mean, the participants as well as myself, so everybody is interested to know how can the risk of cybersecurity and data privacy be managed while advancing digital financial services. Well, I request Professor Volha to share some inputs.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you. Definitely, when we are dealing with financial services, the problems or the risks of cybersecurity and data privacy is very crucial. First of all, it is necessary to consider them in terms of fostering trust. Is point number one, and the promoting broader adoption, point number two, or the task number two. So what I have to say in this particular regard, is that necessary to establish and enforce robust regulations. One more time, I would like to repeat that, focused on data protection and cybersecurity. And this is the task for our governments, definitely. Governments should collaborate, find that kind of opportunities to collaborate with financial institutions to create legal frameworks that require compliance with international standards. Because we are talking about online digital world, and it is also always about going beyond the borders. It's about international communication collaboration, so we cannot deny this fact. Besides that, we have to educate consumers about cybersecurity risk and data privacy issues, because people have to be careful, people have to be very interested in their data security processes, right? And we have to conduct public campaigns to inform users about safe practices, what to do, what not to do. As an example, we can say, we can mention recognizing phishing attempts, like how to find out if something is going wrong and what steps to take in order to protect our privacy, right? Just to not to be blind, like to take care of ourselves as well, and to secure our personal information, of course. We have a lot of advertising campaigns saying, like social advertising campaigns saying that do not share your personal financial information with anyone. But what do we have as a result? People do. Sometimes they do, but and then they are getting sad. So we have to practice that kind of information support for people as well, just to educate them about do's and don'ts. Then I would like to highlight the necessity of implementing multi-factor authentication for users accessing digital financial services to reduce the risk of unauthorized access. Of course, we hear a lot of different argues, a lot of different doubts about why should I use my fingerprints? Why should I use my face authentication controlling system? All those biometric authentication measures. But it is really unique, and it can also help to increase and enhance our security, right? So we have to deal with those probably psychological issues as well, and to teach people, to educate them that it is necessary. What else can I mention here? Regularly, we have to conduct security assessments and penetration testing on digital platforms to identify first, and the second one will be to remediate vulnerabilities proactively. So this is the task not only for one party like government or financial institution. It takes collaborations and partnerships. Then we have to involve in this process all the stakeholders. I truly believe that government, private sector, academia, our role is crucial here as well, to share information about the threats and vulnerabilities. We know that research and development works wonders, and always, every single day while we are sleeping, we are getting different new ideas implemented in digital world. So all the vulnerabilities, all the attempts, like shadow attempts, should be registered, and we have to keep all the participants informed. And that kind of establishing industry-wide information sharing platforms can enhance collective security. I do believe in this. Of course, I cannot deny the fact that to invest in advanced technologies, as we have already mentioned, artificial intelligence and machine learning for threat detection and risk management. They are very helpful, and we just need to use them wisely. And of course, we have to encourage practices such as data minimization. So to collect personal data only when it is necessary, and at the amount what is necessary, and try to protect personal data from exposure using different types of tools and measures. Investment in education, definitely yes. I would like to say that financial literacy should be implemented at schools, in secondary schools and high schools, and then the universities, no matter what specialization we are talking about, be it in education, be it in physics, be it in economics, be it in medicine. We have to teach people how to protect their financial state, because it's very, very important, like our ground, right, where we're building our life on. And of course, try to adopt those strategies, not just in a theoretical way, but also in practice, try to implement them in practice. And emerging economies can better manage cybersecurity and data privacy risks while fostering the advancements of digital financial services. So when we believe that it works, it helps to simplify our life, to make it easier, to make it fast going, then we will do that. I do believe in this. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So governments have, all the stakeholders have a role to play. Governments have a role. Businesses have a role to play. Consumers have to be active, as well as academicians and researchers, we cannot ignore our responsibilities. Thank you, Professor, for your wonderful insights. We also must admit it that institutional support is important. So in this regard, I will come to Professor Muthmainnah. Professor Muthmainnah, can you please share some insights in what ways can international financial institutions they can support digital transformation efforts?
Yeah, I believe that international financial play a critical role in supporting digital transformation in emerging economy. For example, by providing funding, technical expertise, and then it will be guaranteed to influence the policy guidance in many aspects of this finance literacy. For example, this is finance literacy in education. And I think that by this support from international financial institution, it will be having integration the digital solution for sustainable development goals, particularly in areas financial literacy. And the example of World Bank financial literacy program like in Nigeria, maybe you can find the data from the country of Nigeria. This is improve financial inclusion among young people and women by having a workshop for this financial literacy workshop, for example, and also focusing on mobile banking, having community to supporting building up the community. How about they are sharing together for improving their financial literacy based on, like, for example, focusing on mobile banking, budgeting, and small business financing. And the second one, like here also in Nigeria data that digital platform also, it will be reach young and women by this using mobile application and helping them to learning about the financial basic or numerical basic. And we see that also, like in my country, in Indonesia, we see that in my country, because also Indonesia, this is, developing country that we have discussion here about developing country, international financial institution like World Bank, also already having the program, especially for women and youth and youth. This is providing digital literacy, giving training and partnership with the local institution. And then based on the data, my country, Indonesia, the Indonesian Financial Service Authority, around 51% of Indonesian, actually they don't have account in bank. And also mobile penetration in Indonesia, 70% of Indonesian owning, they have smartphone, and digital literacy remain low in rural area. I think this is the contradiction situation, particularly for women. And then based on this program from the international financial institution having impact for working with Ministry of Education, already 50,000 students and young adult in underserved area. They are having giving tutorial, giving workshop and tutorial application for mobile payment, budgeting, and investment. And also this is helping them to navigate digital finance safety. And also in Pakistan, this is the data also from Pakistan, 20% of Pakistani women have a formal bank account, compared 35% of men, as reported by this World Bank global Fintech database. And we see that the impact of this international financial institution having the program for 75,000 women and young people joining the workshop on digital payments, budgeting, and using digital wallets. And also like the platform like Easy Payza. Yeah, I think in Pakistani this is already happening. I just collecting the data from some countries here to support our discussion for today. And this is demonstrate digital saving and help also the young and women to tailor and address the gender and rural barriers about financial digital literacy. And in India, maybe for example, this is in India also, having according to the Reserve Bank of India, 42% of rural adults in India lack financial literacy with women. And 80% of Indian now have own mobile phone, but only 40% of these users have access to digital financial service. Yeah, maybe this is also happening in Indonesia. This is similar. Indonesia, 70% have their own mobile phone, but for financial literacy, this is still very low. I think this is similar with my country. So the program from international financial institution, this is already actually training over 10 million people focusing on digital banking, mobile payment, and responsible digital finance use. And I think that this is also covered with another country like Bangladesh. And we see that actually already they are having support, mostly their program targeting with women and rural population, leveraging mobile financial service, doing training, doing workshop, and providing financial literacy in education. And this is a support by World Bank and international financial, what is the name? Financial institution. And then also, yeah, we appreciate their program to this improving about financial literacy and inclusion initiative can be foster economic resilience and provide sustainable solution for developing countries to achieve inclusive growth in this
Thank you.
transformation. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for your insights and sharing the numbers with us. Really appreciable. I also agree that there is a concern when it comes to digital infrastructure development. Uh, I mean, in terms of rural and remote areas. In this regard, we'll request Professor Viana. Can you please share some inputs regarding how can digital infrastructure development be accelerated in rural and those remote areas? Do you have Professor Viana?
Am I audible?
She wrote me
Yes.
that she has some problems with a connection, internet
Okay.
connection. Maybe
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Firdous, yes, please. You are audible, Dr. Firdous.
So can you repeat the question? I can, take the opportunity to reply this question.
Yeah, we are interested to understand how it is a great gesture on part of you. So how can digital infrastructure development be accelerated in the rural and remote areas to
Yes,
ensure
it
this
is.
inclusive growth?
Yeah, it is quite interesting question, as professors were discussing from the beginning, that we need digital infrastructure support. We need infrastructure development, not at policy level, but we need development of human resources, manpower. So with respect to rural settings, the infrastructure is lacking. So definitely we have to take the initiatives to provide accessible infrastructure by providing good, type of internet, by providing good facility to facility that internet, and create some programs for rural areas so that they can be taken care, they can be part of what we call the financial inclusion. As per the index, the financial survey done by World Bank, they are claiming every 3 years that countries are improving on their financial inclusion status. which includes the areas from rural as well as urban. But yes, there are quite challenges that in rural settings there is urban and rural divide. People are not that much educated. But once we are talking about financial inclusion understanding, then there is the question of digital illiteracy. In digital illiteracy, there are people who are, also literate in the sense who can read, write, but they do not have understanding of how vulnerable is to share the data privacy. As Professor Volha was rightly, sharing before the second round, that data privacy and cyber attacks and the knowledge of the people who are educated, but they sometimes, because of one way or other way, are sharing their, privacy, sharing their codes. So across the globe, particularly in global South countries and South Asia, people are the victims of, especially in rural settings, they are the victims of cybercrime. Those people who are becoming the part of financial inclusion, one way or other way, taking part into financial access services, taking the advantage of, mobile phone valuators or online internet. But on the other side, there are thousands of cases, or we can say crores of cases among these, global or emerging countries where people are making fraud and snatching their hard earnings with the one click of OTP, sharing one click of OTP. So first, we need to have the infrastructure development in rural settings. Second, we should have programs which will educate these rural people about the, advantages and disadvantages of data sharing. As nowadays we are having AI is speaking and creating the voice similarly of that individual and asking by, voice videos, sharing WhatsApp link. So these are the great challenges. These challenges are similar to urban settings also, but to, take care of these settings, institutions have to come forward. Banking institutions, they have to, provide the system which is free from these type of fraud and scams. And individuals, academicians, as you were talking about, that we have to get literate ourselves if we are taking the path of innovation is technology and have impactful financial inclusion. Therefore, we must, address these issues where we need programs at, school, college, and university level so that we can educate the people with these challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Firdous, for your wonderful inputs. It is equally important to understand the matrix. So, what matrix should be in place to measure the success of digital financial inclusion? I request Dr. Anna to please share some inputs regarding the matrix that can be considered to measure the success.
I was prepared for this answer, of course, but when I heard Dr. Mahomati, I don't know if I'm good in pronunciation, but about the numbers, I'm sorry, that the numbers and the women and how they have an access to the an account and also mobile phones in your area, I'm shocked because I thought it's not so low percentage of the population. So still, I think when we're thinking about metrics, so we have to be sustainable, and we are not in that case. So why we have to use the metrics when we don't have sustainable world? Then that not everybody got the same rights, the same access. So why we have to measure it? I'm so sorry, but I know that it's not popular what I'm talking about, but still, if we see such huge gaps between, because here in Europe, we don't have such gaps. I think the women have the same like 100%, and here it's just between in the age of the people, not the sex of the people. Yeah. So if you are old, of course, you don't have to have all the possibilities and acceptable things like a current account or a smartphone or whatever. And then when we have the same access, then we can start make some metrics. Of course, the first one and the easy one is just World Bank, which got every database all over the world. Yeah, so we have to have the same access to the same percent of the people. And it's the research. Then we can have some data which are sustainable and the right one. Because how I can even find the difference in metrics when, for example, in Indonesia, just is at 20%. And in my country, it's 100. So what for to measure it? I'm so sorry. I know that it's not popular, but I also try to find the right way. And here, I think in Europe, we have the same system that everybody are allowed to use everything. And also, it's not expensive because I think it's the reason. And access is very easy because whenever we go, we have an access. So I can go to the Spain and I have the same access, the same in Poland. I don't have to do anything with my mobile phone, with my account, because it's working. Yeah, Vienna also said about some program in accounting, so like, I don't know, just, I don't know, MasterCard, Visa, and whenever. And I can do that. So then we can make any research and we can find the metrics then, the right one, but it has to be the same. The database have to be the same. If they are not, we can't find the one line to point everything. So basically, of course, it's measurable. We can find the good tools, but still we have to be sustainable. Yeah, that everybody should have the same access to everything. I know you telling something, but we don't hear you. I'm sorry. Okay, that's it. I'm sorry, but I think it is that the right way to be honest to all of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor, for your good observation. Thank you. Yeah, Dr. Firdous. Yeah, do we have any questions from the participants? Yeah, Dr. Firdous, am I audible?
Yes, you are. There is, right now no question in the chat box.
I believe.
So
Okay,
we
fine.
can take two questions. If participants are interested, they can write us in the chat box.
So
there is one hand, Dinesh Badur. So Dr. Shahid, you can take his question. Meanwhile, I am.
yeah.
Hi, sir. Thank you very much, and thank you for this conference. It's going very wonderful. So my question is that actually I'm going through the financial technology and how it's affecting the financial inclusion in the rural India. My question is that how the artificial intelligence is affecting this financial technology while we are going to the financial inclusion. Because I know that in the rural India, what happened, that's the digital literacy is very low, right? And what happened, it's very affecting the financial technology means that's how the financial inclusion should be affected when we are using the artificial intelligence. So my question is that how it's affecting, so it's actually is in the way or it can be improved.
So whom you are asking this question? Can
anybody that can be.
So let me give this opportunity to Dr. Volha, if she can, give some viewpoints on this. Then I can also, take.
Thank you, Dr. Firdous. Thank you, of course. Talking about artificial intelligence, I would like to share my personal experience. I truly believe that in current situation, in current time, we use it only for collecting data, for analyzing the market, for obtaining information support on like in the marketing research in particular. So we have to know our customers better. We have to know their needs better to be able to meet them, right? What kind of services to provide, what kind of target audience to reach, and all those things. I truly believe that nowadays, and we have a long way to go in this direction, but on this particular case, I would like to say that in financial services, it is really necessary to pay attention to the individual approach. I mean, we have students as a target group, we have elderly people as target group, we have families, we have probably some else we can add here. But in general, we need to understand what they want to get information of their income level, to get information about their interest, like credit history or something. So this is relevant. Artificial intelligence services are relevant for this particular task. What else can we say? All the controlling functions, I truly believe that they are provided probably to little extent, but we have future here for government establishments, for different types of controlling establishments. This is actually important to pay attention to the different spheres of our life to take everything under control, because the time is really vulnerable and we have a lot of threats and a lot of problems and issues. So to use it, I'm not actually aware of the way it can be implemented right now, but I truly believe that it is useful for that purposes as well in financial sphere also. So all the transactions on the international level, all the communication on international level probably is forecasted. All the predictions are made using the artificial intelligence tools. So I truly believe that we have a very long way to go, but right now we are at the beginning of the process of implementing AI technologies in financial area. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Professor. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
We can take next question.
We have next question in the chat box. How to protect the data and ensure safety about cybercrime? So anyone from the esteemed panel members, please, if you are.
So let us address this question by Professor Isil, that how to safeguard the data privacy and all. Can you share your viewpoints on it? You are mute. Your mic is off.
Yeah, you are mute, Professor.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, please. Yes.
I don't know. I think it's not my major. Could you please ask another audience?
Yes, please, Dr. Shah, you can repeat this question for me.
Yeah, I believe already Professor Volha has already spoken about the risk of cybersecurity. So it is. The question is how to protect the data and ensure safety about cybercrime.
Yes, a very good question. So there is, in economics, when we are talking about supply and demand, the services are provided by the institution and markets. So therefore, to safeguard or protect cyber security with respect to data, privacy and all, the primary responsibility goes to the institutions who are providing these regulatory authorities, regulatory body, public institutions, and their public-private partnership. Sometimes they are providing us access to various online services, like it is Uber, banking services, Zomato in India, and what's sort. So the primary. So the primary, responsibility goes with the institutions. At the secondary level, the people, the individuals or customers, consumers, they have to educate themselves. They have to, literate themselves and in via social media or other digital platforms, we are getting news about scams, and so we have to, at primary institutions are the responsible, at the secondary people have to address these issues themselves. They have to get literate, they have to take care of these things, and government should have, as in my previous discussion I have told that there should be programs so that we can from school level we can aware children about the new technology and its challenges. Thank you very much. You can go to next question, Dr. Shahid.
Yeah. Dr. Firdaus, we have two more
Thank you so much,
questions,
sir.
but
Thank you so much.
yeah, welcome. Thank you. Dr. Firdaus, we have next two questions, but I believe our panel members have already given some talk on those questions. One is related to international organizations and another about the models. So I believe
Sure.
if the participants can have access to this video, they can again watch it and they can get better insights because they have
Yeah.
spoken at length.
Yeah, actually we are out of time. So Dr. Shahid, you can actually conclude the session. Please go
Yeah,
ahead.
thank you. Thank you. So it was going very interesting, but due to paucity of time, we have to close somewhere. So we are really grateful to esteemed panel members to share their wonderful insights related to the theme of the session. So it is going to benefit us a lot. Uh, Due appreciation goes to the organizing team for organizing such a wonderful conference, and then this session being part of this conference. Really appreciable. There are many takeaways, but as we enhance digital connectivity, we can empower individuals, uplift communities, and drive collective progress. So let's work together to ensure that no one is left behind in this digital revolution, paving the way for a more inclusive and sustainable future for all. I'm also grateful for this opportunity to be the moderator in this session. Well, thank you and stay blessed. Thank you, one and all. Bye.
Thank you
So
very much, Firdaus and
yes.
Professor.
Thank you, Dr. Firdaus.
So
And
on
all,
behalf of yes, please go ahead, Dr.
Professor
Shahid. You have-
Amin.
yeah, please, Dr. Firdaus, please. It is
So
your
as
turn.
we are out of time, I on behalf of my association, Jammu and Kashmir Economic Association, University of Lingaya Vidyapeeth, and SSA International, I am having pleasure to meeting such a wonderful young experts. I can say resilient panel discussion we had because all the panelists were women, strong economists, and they put forward their thought-provoking discussion by addressing all the questions. So we are having global economists with us. Someone from Poland, some from Russia, Turkey, Indonesia, and Malta. So we are very thankful for accepting our invitation at a very short moment and shared your valuable time, especially the holiday of Sunday, and share the words of wisdom with us in India here. We are very thankful for giving us your time. So we are now going to conclude this session. Before we conclude, if you wanna share your final viewpoints, please go ahead one by one.
Thank you, Dr. Firdous. May I say a few words? Thank you, Dr. Shahid. It was really nice to be here today to spend the Sunday morning with you, collaborating and discussing the relevant topics. Thank you for having me here, and it was my real pleasure to take some notes. Actually, the speakers shared a lot of insights, and I would like to work in the mentioned directions a little bit more. Thank you so much for this opportunity. It was really a pleasure. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much for invitation and to be in such group of good researcher. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Firdaus, for this opportunity and to all of the panelists for your insight. I also already representing some of the gaps and problem in Indonesia, like gender equality regarding about the financial literacy. And you see that maybe we can do the collaboration to support and to grow together, like in Europe. I think that Europe very different with Asia. I know Firdous and Professor Sahid, know our condition here, and we need also already your support to growing this financial literacy in rural area and for the women itself. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for this nice session. Thank you.
So thank you very much. Before our esteemed panelists, are going to leave, I requested them,
Thank
let
you.
us have a group
Have a nice day ahead with everyone. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
So as we are going to have our panel, this session chairs now, I would request everyone, the participants, they have to write down their room name before those who are presenters. And for panelists who are till now panelists, they have to add session chair SC